Continuous losses from state-owned enterprises do not just affect the government. It affects the entire country and extends to the private sector. Let me explain that. Continuous losses posted by state-owned enterprise in the long run increases the cost of capital, both for the country and for businesses. State-owned enterprises are given seeded funds to operate, generate revenue and profits, and accumulate profit to expand their equity base and grow organically. However, because most state-owned enterprises continue to record losses, they deteriorate in terms of capital, and in the long run, they need external funding in the form of loans or borrowings and introduction of equity. Because state-owned enterprises are owned by government, when they need external funding and their balance sheet is unable to be used for such funding, the state-owned enterprise will rely on government for government to provide guarantee and assurances so that they are being loaned to. This eventually increases the country's risk profile. And when the risk profile is increased, it means that lenders are going to demand higher returns or risk premium when loaning. And that is how state-owned enterprise continuous losses affect capital or cost of capital. The next thing is that there can be crowding out in terms of capital because available funds or available capital is for private sector and the government sector. When state-owned enterprises continue to record losses, they are going to go after the available funds, which is meant for everyone, which is meant for businesses. They will be competing with businesses to get capital. And when that happens, they will be crowding out because most financial institutions are more comfortable in loaning to state-owned enterprises because they are government-backed than the private sector. And that can lead to crowding out. Capital available for the private sector will be taken by state-owned enterprise, and then it means that development is going to be affected. The next thing is that continuous losses by state-owned enterprise eventually will increase government debt. And that is why in most emerging economies where state-owned enterprises continue to record losses, government debt continue to balloon. Because since government is the sole owner of state-owned enterprise, when debt crystallize, they need to step in. When they need to introduce new capital, government needs to step in, and this continues to increase government debt or public debt. So losses of SOEs should be more predictable. There should be policy to look at SOEs, and where it is possible, SOEs are supposed to be privatized. Where governance systems are weak, there need to be systems in place to ensure that governance systems are more stringent and robust to protect SOEs, to ensure that SOEs are being operated by adhering to best practices and operating in a framework that leads to profitability, especially in emerging markets. Let me know what you also think in the comment section.